Good afternoon, everyone. Hey, Huafrid.
Hey, Ravi.
Okay, so we have 458 and counting attendees, and I think it'll be house full in the next couple of minutes or so.
Wow.
And great. So let's not waste any more time and start. So, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to today's session. My name is Ravi Santlani, and I run a media platform by the name ScooNews, which I'm sure a lot of you by now know. We have complete focus on K-12 education of India. And before I start, I'd like to request you all to do one thing for me today. Hop onto ScooNews Facebook page now and share the live video of today's talk on your timeline. This way, we will have more people watch the journey of this inspiring young man. Can you do that for me? I'll just give a couple of minutes break here and I'll just chat with you all. But I want you all to let me know in the chat window, would you be able to hop onto School News Facebook page and share that live video? Because I want many people more to watch this on your timeline. So if you are a teacher, I'm pretty sure on your Facebook, you have more teachers who are not able to kind of come today on this talk. I want you all to please hop onto School News Facebook page and share this live stream with other friends. I'll give you all a minute and then I'll start so that all the other friends could also hear what I have to say and what this young man has to say here. Great to see so many people here from Karnataka, from Andhra Pradesh, Agra. Wow, this is amazing.
Yeah, wow.
Great. Julia sure says I'm on Facebook, but you're typing on Zoom. Yeah. Good afternoon. Sheetal from Anandiketan, I believe, Ahmedabad. Can you please share that on your social media timeline? Rekha Shahani, ma'am, how are you? We are going to explain that too. You just need to go on your Facebook account, search School News, go on School News page. On the top, you will see this live stream. Click on share, and it'll be shared on your Facebook page. Sunita Sadhwani, ma'am, thank you very much. You are writing that you're a regular attendee of our webinars, very relevant topics, and salute to the punctuality. Thank you very much for that. Amazing. Wow, we have Ariz Alia from Jordan. We didn't know we are that famous in Jordan.
So, a lot of people whom I know, abroad,
Oh,
I told
okay.
them to also pan in. So, we're going to have a lot of international guests too. Yeah.
Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you for inviting them. Garima Sethi from Mayo College. Please say my hello to General Kulkarni. Mangesh Chandra from Tamil Nadu, and so many more. So I think by now you all have the gist of what I really want you to do. I want you all to share the live video on Facebook. You can do so by going on School News Facebook page and sharing that. You can do so. And I'll not spam a lot of people who don't really want to share this, but still a few of you who can share. Please do so. And I will start now. So today we have a very special guest with us, a boy who was dogged by learning disabilities like dyslexia, dyscalculia, dysgraphia, ADHD, that stands for attention deficiency hyperactive disorder, depression, OCD, and physical symptoms. It was late last year when a very dear friend of mine and mentor, Pradipta, who is the program director for Aditya Birla Education Academy, he invited me to Empower Conference in Mumbai, where I heard Miss Nirja Birla, and she was really instrumental in kind of creating this wave in India about the mental health. And that's where they invited Huafrid Billimoria, who's sharing the screen with me. I heard Huafrid for the first time there. And trust me, after 20 minutes or so of his talk, I stood up from my chair and heard the rest 10 minutes of his talk standing. You may have heard of standing ovation at the end of inspiring talks. Mine was a standing ovation right from where I realized that this boy is talking sense. And he has gone through so much in life, and so effortlessly he is wearing the smile while sharing his plight of the times when he used to be that special child in school. I was astonished with the kind of talk he delivered at Taj Land's End on that beautiful banquet hall. And I think he was the only speaker that day who got a standing ovation from pretty much everyone present in that room. And that's where I met Huafrid. So I wanted to give you a little context to why Huafrid is coming online today on the webinar, since a lot of you have been commenting that School News does only relevant talks. And that's why I'm giving you the backstory of it. Later that day, I met Huafrid outside the men's restroom. And I hope, Huafrid, you remember we spoke about an
Yeah, of
hour or
course.
so. And we spoke about for good 1 hour. And I promised Huafrid that I will invite him to one of my conferences. But as you all know, we all were unaware of the stupid virus, and our conferences got delayed. I'm not loving it anymore. I'm taking this opportunity today to let Huafrid rant today about the problems he faced while at school and colleges, and let all you educators hear right from the horse's mouth. I want you all to be inspired by this young boy who has a very, very bright future ahead. And let's contemplate at the end of his talk and see if we can bring any change to our current teaching style. What you are going to listen now is the real journey of Huafrid Billimoria. And friends, as you all know, that today's topic is putting the word ability in disability. Let us all listen to Huafrid very carefully and congratulate him for what he has achieved even after going through all these problems, and has emerged as the role model for millions in India. Thank you very much, Huafrid, for joining us. And I'll give you the next 15-20 minutes to rant and say whatever you want to. I think after that, I would request you to pick up many questions that are going to be coming in the Q&A section. And just one last note, ladies and gentlemen, all the educators, please do not put any questions in the chat box. Put the questions in the Q&A box at Zoom. And of course, on Facebook and YouTube, you can comment over there and we'll try to pick up as many questions as we can. And Huafrid, the screen is all yours. I'll switch off my video so that the complete attention comes to you. And
okay. Okay. So Ravi, thank you so much for actually having me over here. And as Ravi mentioned, it's amazing to be on this platform and get an opportunity to talk and tell my story. More than ranting, it will be addressing, a lot of issues, a lot of topics which are taboo topics, and which people do not want to talk about openly. Yeah? So that's exactly what I'm going to do. So just getting the gist of it. School, it started all rainbows and sunshine for me. It was a happy kid just thrown into one of the best schools in South Mumbai. Yeah, supposedly one of the best, you see. But I didn't know at that point of time that I was going to go through hell and come back a lot of times, you see. So I was in the first grade, and bam, I just cannot put pen to paper, So a lot of issues with dysgraphia and dyspraxia, and I just couldn't. And I was in one of the most competitive South Mumbai schools where it was crazy. It was crazy competition from the first grade itself. So that's what it was for me, So then in the first grade, I had to go to Naya Hospital, and I was diagnosed with learning disability. I had all of them, and that too severe ones, supposedly severe ones. So I had that, and upon that, I was diagnosed with ADHD, attention deficiency hyperactivity disorder. So a lot of behavioral issues. I was on medication like Inspiral, Advice, Concerta, you name it, I have had it, I've jumped from each doctor, from doctor to doctor, from psychiatrist to psychiatrist, from professional to professional. And, people and teachers of 30 years of experience and special educators had such a bogged down perspective about me that I would never, ever be able to make it, in life. I will never be able to be articulate enough. I will never be able to put pen to paper, and I will never be able to graduate. Simple. That's exactly what people had, and that is what exactly people thought about my future and my career. So I would say the special educators, when a kid acts up, and acts up during eating food, that is how special educators were acting up, and forcing me to choose a special school. Now, the whole thing is that I don't give up. I do not like giving up. I like things being normalized. I'm a go-getter from the start, but due to external hate propagated and the external environment which was propagated, which was so toxic, I found it so difficult to actually survive, in a normal school. So, I mean, though it was difficult for me, normal school was crazy for me because I had ADHD and severe learning disabilities, but it also shaped me to who I am today. So, as I said, one of the toughest, one of the most competitive schools is in South Mumbai. And special educators, doctors, professionals, all of them are doubting my profession, telling me to change into a special school, mostly, I think so, NIOS. And it's much more chilled out. It's much more, easy for you and a lot of, other things. But I just wanted to continue because I really liked my school. And that time I never knew what was going to be thrown at me. So, yeah, it was just doubt throughout, So, yeah, just so in my school, when I just started off, I was facing any which ways a lot of issues, but the external circumstances which actually made it so difficult for me to survive were basically a lot of bullying. Now, this bullying, it didn't come out from it didn't only come out from peers. It also came out from professionals, doctors, special educators, and a lot of y'all are that, or are actually learning to become that, right? So, and I'm a professional social worker. So, I know what I'm talking, I know what I'm saying, and that's why I say that, do not doubt an individual's potential. Do not doubt the resilience which a person has. Do not doubt this um, basic dog mentality in each and every person, because I mean, there will be a point of time where that one individual will go against the norms of society to prove each and every one wrong. And that's exactly what I've done. So, I remember days when I used to stay up late in the night, and tables, it was very difficult for me. So I used to stay up like late till 12, 1 o'clock. And this is a first grade student, staying up that late with my dad, with my family. And my family support was like crazy. And that's why I am where I am today. So yeah, it was insane. And I had this joke, that I learned how to say ADHD instead of ABCD, So kids start with ABCD, and I started off with ADHD. Also proves why I have learning disability. If you get the joke, yeah. So yeah. So when it came to bullying, I'm talking all of this with a smile because I have forgiven. I'm not forgotten because I use this as fuel to actually do the impossible. So I genuinely believe that forgive but never ever forget, and that's strongly what I believe in. So bullying, let me get to you just examples of what bullying was for me. There were bullies spitting on the floor, telling me to lick it, and there were added conditions, and this was just because I was standing out. Simple, I was just standing out. I was doing stupid stuff to be accepted. I had no friends, and that's what school life was. I mean, school life is all about friends and love and life and enjoying, but it was just hell for me. And simple, that's exactly what it was. Simple word, just one word, hell. You see. um so yeah, as I told you, added conditions. So if I didn't lick that spit of those bullies, I mean, I was getting beaten up or verbally abused and stuff like that. After that, there was an incident on Facebook when Facebook groups had just started. I was in the 7th or the 8th grade, and they made a Facebook group stating Huafrid Billimoria sucks, ban Huafrid Billimoria on Facebook. They spread it to all the popular South Mumbai schools. So I do not get any attention from, and they spread it mostly to the girls' schools. So I do not get any attention from the opposite gender. And this was the time, 8th, 9th grade, people have just started experimenting. People are just, hooking up slowly, making out. and stuff. And I mean, forget that. Even studies for me was a challenge, you see. And this is what they did. They spread it in all the popular South Mumbai schools, especially the girls' schools. So I get no attention from that. During the exams, I write like this. I write my papers like this. And that time I didn't have a scribe or a writer. So I yet remember there was this one art teacher, and he comes to the peon, and they both are staring at me because I'm writing like this. Because of course I have dyspraxia, I have dysgraphia, and the art teacher passes a comment to the peon standing and staring at me. हाँ वो थोड़ा ऐसा ही है, वो थोड़ा ढीला है. That means basically in English, he's a little dumb, and he's got issues. And instead of actually offering me help and stuff like that, they were whining in the extra time. First of all, the concessions which I got were negligible. I never got a scribe, there was no option of a scribe. My school didn't allow me to drop maths. Unfortunately, awareness and this stuff which is just started, there was no counselor in my school. So if I go and I address all of this, I go and address this too. And supposedly one of the best schools. So I don't know. I was just caught in this racket, of bullying, of external hate, trauma, and all of that. And then special educators, professionals doubting me. And with that, managing severe learning disabilities and ADHD. So I didn't know. I was just like fighting every second to actually get my voice heard, to actually shout on top of my voice and say that, hello, I'm alive, I'm surviving, I'm fighting every second, So yeah, I mean, that was an instance of a teacher, cribbing about the extra time which I was allotted, you see, and making fun of me. So that was the teacher. Then in my 10th grade, one of the most crucial grades, I did a very stupid thing, long 16 years, I always stood out, you see. My studies, my homework was to do with a lot of Xerox, because I had severe learning disability. So I required the Xerox copies to actually survive. Now, this is disgusting and pure. Because I do not have any other word to put across, except pure disgust and a disgusting experience for, parents, and I would say, I just genuinely from the bottom of my heart hope that parents are not like this in today's times, when it came to actually offering Xerox copies, they were like, the parents were like, please do not disturb us. We do not care. Our kids have enough to deal with. You need to change your kid to a better school where he'll get more attention and stuff. Or and that's it. We're sorry, we can't just help you. Simple. And I was like, man, I'm putting in so much effort, and there's no help from any which ways. There's only doubt, which is being thrown at me. So I mean that, and that is why I say that it was pure disgusting behavior from parents. I mean, come on, you have a child. Imagine if your child had so many issues, right? Imagine. I mean, I genuinely, from the bottom of my heart, I wish that peers and students who actually studied with me, I hope your children do not have any disabilities, and do not, when they are born, they do not go through stuff like what I have gone. Because then as parents, they will realize what I went through, and that will be the actual realization, and that will be when their eyes light up, and then they will come to hear my story. But at that time, I'll be there for them, but I will also make them realize that, boss, it's too late, and you're too late to actually help, to actually put it into action, to actually make a difference. You're too late, plain and simple. So yeah, as you see, I have a lot of principle. I'm sort of tearing up, because it is emotional. I have a lot of principle anger, principle rage, but as I always say, these are not the platforms that actually take it out. So any which ways that in the 10th grade, I ended up because I had severe behavioral issues, and I had no friends, so I used to do stupid stuff to just be accepted. Uh, I mean, just imagine zero friends, and the friends who like you, they call you a pylon, they call you a wannabe, they call you retarded, they call you a spastic, and that's all what I got in form of friendship. So so I ended up abusing my school principal, which was one of the most pathetic things I've ever done in my life, and I'm not proud of it. I'm not. Simple, and that's what I want to stress on before I tell you that incident. I'm not happy that I did that, and I'm really sad that I actually abused my principal to just get attention, and to just be accepted, as a cool kid, and that didn't happen. I ended up in a lot of trouble. Somewhere I did call for that trouble, but somewhere that trouble was also unwanted because there was a lot of fundamentals wrong with my school already. They didn't allow me to drop math. It was like they were forcing me to do math. Why? When ICSE has that option of dropping out, I'm just 24, so I'm not passed out like 20 years back. So I don't get it. Um, so that so yeah, I abused my school principal, and now the thing what happened after that is crazy. I get a gray card, which is the highest disciplinary card. I get one more warning, and I'm just chucked out of school. This is all happening in my 10th grade. I'm managing learning disabilities. I'm managing ADHD. And then they make my parents write an undertaking. They make me write an undertaking. They make me sign. They give me a gray card, which is the worst disciplinary card. After which they go above and beyond to embarrass and ridicule me. And this is what I really didn't get. And this is what I'm actually talking against. And this is what I'm saying, that no other child should go through what I did at that point of time. They called my parents to apologize in front of the whole assembly of 500 students. And I asked them, why did they make my parents apologize in front of the whole senior assembly? My mother was in bloody tears when she was apologizing in front of the assembly, in tears. And I'm standing behind, and I'm like, crap, what is happening? I mean, what have I done? You see, what have I put myself through? But this is exactly what society does to you when they have such a bogged down perspective about you, and the norms of society are just at you in accordance to professionals. Everyone just breathing down your throat like crazy. This is exactly what happens to you. So, I mean, I didn't know my parents had to, audition to save my life in school. And I never knew it would come to that. But this is what happened in school, at that point of time. In spite of that, I cracked my exam without the help of a scribe or a writer. And I got distinction from one of the best schools, in spite of all of this trauma, all of this stuff being thrown at me. There was hate from the teachers at that point of time. There were very few nice, soft-spoken and well-hearted teachers who really supported me. And I mean, I salute them. And this is a lot of love and respect to you all who actually supported me at that point of time in my life. So yeah, I mean, that's just the start of my story. You see, so at 10, so after 10th grade, I was diagnosed. I mean, in the 10th grade, I slowly realized that drinking water from a bottle was getting very difficult. So, I mean, as you all see, I twitch and I shake a lot. So that is because I have a debilitating neurological disorder, which I was diagnosed just after my 10th grade. And it got worse by the 11th, 12th grade. It got very bad. The bullies thought I was like, the bullies thought they were like Floyd Mayweather over here. There was this one kid who banged me in front of the college gate. There was this group of friends whom I never had friends, right? So they took me to Nargol, where this place, and they just took me over there to bully me and rack me. and they didn't even allow me to get out of that place. And what you're talking about, kids who are like 17, 16, and not even, I think so, yeah, not even 18. And these kids are literally taking you to a place in Nargol at their farmhouse, and they're just bullying you and they're ragging you, you know. They are doing crazy stuff. They're passing snide, pathetic, disgusting comments like drink your mother's periods. Um, I mean, I've heard it all. And I'm stating this. Yes, it is disgusting to hear. Yes, it is pathetic to hear it on a forum like this. But imagine what I must be going through while hearing all of that. And all I wanted was acceptance. All I wanted to just be called was like, okay, he's a cool guy to hang around with. He's level headed. He makes sense. Nice guy, man. That's all I wanted. If I got that, I wouldn't have done all this crazy stuff, you see. And yeah, so this is what they did. So junior college wasn't difficult, was very difficult, and dystonia was worst. I was fat, I was putting on weight. Dystonia was making it even more difficult for me to function. Every step I took, my foot used to turn inward, you know, because of the involuntary movements. And every step was so difficult to take. You know, I still try to normalize my whole situation, because throughout life, I genuinely believe in normalizing things. You know, I do not believe in ranting. I believe in addressing it as it is and calling it out as it is and saying it like it is. So yeah, all of that happened in junior college. Dystonia making it really worse. That's the time I was like, okay, this is enough. Doctor, and that time again, now doctors were like, you know, maybe it might get worse. Maybe you need to use a wheelchair. Maybe, you know, it's just all God knows what is going to happen. You know, so I was like, screw it. If you all don't know what is going to happen, I'm going to take my life into my own hands. So that's the time when I started gymming. I started gymming like crazy. I was 90 kgs. I was fat. I was overweight, and I dropped down to like 60, 65. So I was like muscular, ripped. My twitches and my all of that came into control. You know, through a lot of physical activities. I yet remember, you know, I used to tie my shoelaces very tight because the foot used to turn inward, and I was like, screw this. You know, if so, basically, when I was having controlled movements of walking, that is when my foot used to turn even more inward. So I was like, okay, and when I was running, that movement never used to happen, and it never used to be that difficult for me to run. So I used to tie my shoelaces very tight so my foot doesn't turn inward, and I used to run. Running 5 kilometers was hell to me. Later on, I'll tell you what all I've achieved in spite of that. So yeah, I mean, in Dystonia, it did get better, and a lot of physical activities really helped me. So yeah, so that is what happened. Then at that point in time, I decided to do hotel management, because hotel management is very easy and easy going for children and kids with learning disabilities and stuff like that. And there's a lot of scope and stuff. So I cracked my joint entrance exam without any help of any scribe and all. And with Dystonia being at its crazy peak, you know, and I got into IHM Mumbai. One of the best hotel management colleges in India. There was no bullying over here. There was nothing like that. There were friends. Slowly, I started getting friends and stuff like that. I started getting acceptance and stuff. I started, you know, being accepted for who and what I was. But when it came to concessions and stuff like that, there were negligible concessions. And what you're talking about, when I was 18, I'm 24, so I just graduated 4 years back. So and there were no concessions, you know, in one of the best hotel management colleges in India. So that's something which we need to address, you see. So let me just now break this up for you all, okay? You all have sort of heard me out till now. So these are a few open-ended questions for you all to introspect as professionals, it being psychologists, psychiatrists, social workers, psychiatric social workers, special educators. Who is going to return my childhood back to me? who is going to undo the trauma, because it's too late already. What are you all going to do for the future? I mean, we all just love talking, right? What do we do when we actually want to actually take action and put stuff into practice? We don't do that. We just talk, and that's exactly what we need to change as professionals. So that's something I'm a fan of doing, putting it into action, and just not talking. But those are the questions which you all should introspect, on. And it always hits hard with other people hearing my story. So I hope it hits hard with you all. So then I got into 2 lovely jobs. And then when I came out in the open about my day-to-day challenges and difficulties, they simply didn't want me, and made it hell for me to actually survive, over there. And I had to change. I had to change my profession altogether. I had to, again now, crack my TISNET to do my social work and disability studies and action, because I just wanted to give back to society. I just wanted to give back to children who are going through what I am going through, you see. And I couldn't imagine that if a child who is so high functioning with so many issues is going through so much hell, what are children with more disabilities going through in Indian society? And I'll call it what it is, because this is exactly what it is. It is Indian society for you. This is what norms are for children with disabilities, and developmental disabilities, or learning disabilities, or autism, and a lot of other challenges and issues, you see. This is the truth. This is what reality is. Though you all want to run away from it and stuff, sorry, you all can't run away from it. This is exactly what it is. So I had to change my profession to actually shout, scream on top of my voice and say, hello, I'm bloody hell alive. I'm there, I'm surviving, I'm fighting the constructs of society not to give up every bloody second, So, I mean, yeah, and I believe no person and no individual with a disability or with challenges should be given that option to scream, and should be given that option to actually go out there, find their voice, and scream on top of their voice, to actually, shout out and say that, hello, how much more will you throw at me? No child should be given that option. We as professionals should make it much more easier for the child, and we should to find his own voice, his or her own voice, and not hit stuff and throw stuff how I was throwing stuff at. So, and yeah, I literally had to search for my voice, crawl, and search for my voice, and I have found it, alas, and that's exactly why you all are listening to me. So so now I work with lovely kids in an NGO called Sopan. I work with autistic children, and I work in PR and communications. I love the work I'm doing, and and believe it or not, this will be shocking to all of you all. And this is what resilience, this is what the dog mentality, this is what gets you all, when you just do not give up, when you keep at it, when you fail time and again, and you just keep at it. So in spite of all what I've dealt with, I graduated from the best schools and colleges, which I have mentioned till now. Best school, a well-reputed junior college, the best hotel management college, the best social work college, and I do this with distinction. I do not give my option, I do not give myself opportunities to slip up, because if I slip up, this will give people to doubt my potential. This will give people to actually point out and tell me that, hell, I was right, and I didn't want to give anyone that option. I wanted to actually be that guy who just doesn't give up, and this is what resilience does to you. This is what, when you do not give up, when you keep at it, this is where it gets you, So this is what I strongly believe in. I genuinely believe in a lot of positive psychology, genuinely believe in REBT. I genuinely, and a lot of psychologists and psychiatrists would be knowing what I'm talking about. I love Albert Ellis. And I'm studying now further to get a degree in psychology. So a master's in psychology to do my clinical psych. And that's that. So now, why am I doing that? Because I faced a lot of mental health issues. I was down with a lot of anxiety, and I was like, am I good enough? Am I even a person? Why is this happening to me? All these negative thoughts. So I have GAD, I have OCD, constant intrusive thoughts is my worst fear. When people actually specify stuff, I'm so OCD. I keep on arranging stuff, and oh my God, it's so it's so sad. I'm OCD about a lot of things. See, I'm mimicking you because that's not how exactly OCD and anxiety works. It's very debilitating. It is an intrusive thought which latches up. It is basically, okay, OCD is, imagine of your worst nightmare, it being losing your parents, you getting cancer, you dying of AIDS, or it can be anything which is irrational, and you latch on to that thought, and it plays 24/7 in your head, and it plays on and on and on. And because of so much trauma and external hate which was propagated against me, I did face severe anxiety, and I was bedridden for like, a week, and I just couldn't get out of bed. And this was when I was doing my TIS program, because I just had enough of society. I just wanted to give up, And I was like, man, that's not something we stand for. What's wrong with you, man? That's not who you are. Get up. What's up with you? So I got the lovely help. Yes, I was on medication. There's this lovely doctor whom I genuinely just love as an individual and as a person. Ravi knows him. Dr. Zarak Marker did wonders with me. Touch wood, I'm coming off medications. I'm doing very, very well with a lot of physical activities, and me with that crazy dog mentality and resilience, and callousing my mind that, okay, throw it at me. I got it. If I could go through so much, cool. I got this. I can do more. I can do more. No giving up, yeah. I can do more. Mental health and stuff, okay, yes, it is debilitating. It might get you down at a point of time, but you can do more. You got this, Huafrid. And that's what's gotten me over here to do that. And this is why I'm going to do psych, to actually understand my brain and how all trauma affects me, and maybe to help out other children, not to find their own voice, and to help them find their own voice, as a lot of professional teachers fail at it, you see. So I hope you all don't fail at it in the future after hearing my story. And somewhere I also want to point it out that somewhere you all have failed, and this is what you all, as failures, have made me into a success story. I don't know if that makes sense to you all, but to me it makes a lot of sense. So yeah, I mean, that's how I look at it. That's how I treat life. Yeah, so that. So I'm going to do that second master's, and I'm going to hopefully get distinction again. Fingers crossed, yeah. So in spite of dystonia being severe, I was like, okay, now Huafrid, what can you do to challenge yourself in the physical aspects where you push your limits, and where you just go crazy, where you give it your best, and it also helps your mental health, So I was like, okay, let's start running marathons, So that's what I did. So I just started running marathons, and I realized I was good at it. And after that, I started running marathons to bring awareness towards my disability. And then I was like, man, okay, I'm doing this. I'm doing. So a lot of mixed martial arts helped me to actually bring down the rage, bring down my anger, and it kept the bullies, in at par too, you see. And it was amazing that what mixed martial arts and physical activities do to you. So this is what I did. I started running marathons to bring awareness towards my disability. I ran multiple marathons. Then I was like, okay, now what else can you do which will be more challenging? I was always a good swimmer. It was difficult because of dystonia, but I was always a good swimmer. And I was a good cyclist, So I was like, okay, let's hit it. Let's get into a triathlon. So I recently, last year, I completed a triathlon, an Olympic distance triathlon, with a lovely group called RT Triathlon Group, and it was amazing. I mean, so I completed a triathlon, also making me the first Indian with dystonia to complete an Olympic distance triathlon. And then I was like, okay, now what further? What other challenge can you throw at yourself where you go like, okay, yeah, come on, you have that dog mentality. You want to callous your mind, right? You want to go like, man, throw it at me. I'm ready. I'm ready to face it. I'm ready. Even if I fail again and again and again, um, it's okay. It's okay. But I'm not going to give up. What will challenge me like that? And that's when I read about Iron Man. And that was like, bam. I was like, shit, this is crazy, man. I mean, whacked up people in the head actually do that. And then I was like, Huafrid, are you that crazy? And it didn't take me a second to actually reach over there and go like, man, you are that crazy. You're the epitome of being crazy. Let's just do it. But fortunately, because of other medical health issues like a fistula and all of that, that one dream is stuck of becoming an Ironman. But it's crazy. It's a 1.9 kilometer swim. It's a 90 kilometer bike ride, and then 21-kilometer run, which is a half marathon after that. That is just a half Ironman. A full Ironman is double that. A 3.9 kilometer swim, 180 kilometer bike ride, and then a 42 kilometer run. So, and that's exactly what I want to do, to actually bring awareness towards my disability, that nothing is impossible. That and this is just me. How many other times I fail, I'll just get up and I'll keep at it till I meet my goals and till I reach where I want to be, man. And that's just who I am. That's just something in me. Recently, just before the lockdown in March, I became the first Indian with dystonia to swim 10 kilometers in an open sea. I pushed my limits like crazy. There were 12 athletes in my category, and two of them were full Ironman finishers. I respect them to the bottom of my heart. But from those 12 finishers, the conditions were that bad in the sea at that point of time that those 10 kilometers were hell. The 5 kilometers were smooth, but then after that, the other 5 kilometers were just hell. So from the 12 participants in the 10 kilometer open sea swimming category at Juhu Beach, there were only 4 who completed it, and I was one of the 4. So that is what not giving up, keeping at it gets you, So that's exactly what I want to actually share with you all and propagate for. Yeah, that. And I completed it. And I was shocked that I actually completed a 10 kilometer swim. And then I realized that, man, I'm not only the person who completed an Olympic distance triathlon and the first Indian to do it. I'm also the first Indian with dystonia to swim 10 kilometers in an open water, with pathetic conditions. And it was more than 10 kilometers, trust me. The waves were crazy. I was just guzzling seawater. And at 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock when you're swimming, it's like a bloody sauna bath. You're swimming in a sauna. That's exactly how difficult it was, and exactly how difficult it was, because I say that only 4 people completed it, and I was one of them. I also realized that till now, after just doing my research, I've submitted it for a few awards and stuff like that there's no person in the world who's actually successfully with dystonia completed an open water 10 kilometer sea swimathon. And I was like, whoa, that's insane. So life has weird ways of rewarding you, My resilience and my positive mentality, it got the same platform, which actually on Facebook, where they spread hate groups and stuff like that. That's the same platform right now, which is validating me. The same parents who had a bogged down perspective and the same bullies who had a bogged down perspective about me are the same people who are coming and apologizing and tuning into my story. And I respect them for that. I genuinely have forgiven them from the bottom of my heart. But I will never forget that, because when things get difficult and when I feel like giving up, that's what I tap into. That's what I I feed upon that fuel, I use that as fuel to drive my car. So yeah, I mean, that's my story. And all I want to just end it with is that I yet struggle on a day-to-day basis with my maths tables and addition and social communication and what to say when, because the 16 long years I was treated like crap. So at times, the social aspects of socializing and stuff becomes very difficult for me. You see, it is very difficult, and it's very hard for me. So yeah, but and I really struggle with that. I really struggle with my math table. I really struggle sometimes with reading and writing. But look where that's got me. I mean, that's not stopped me, right? So that's something for you all to introspect. And let's end it on that note by saying that a life can throw you hell, and that's what I've been through. I've been through hell and back a lot of times. But how strong are you to fight back? And I hope as professionals, teachers, parents, anyone who is tuning in, this is a humble request that we all sensitize a lot of issues, and we deal with these issues with empathy. To end it, as educators, and this being an edu channel, and getting out education to the masses and teachers and stuff like that, and programs on that basis, what needs to be addressed from my side, disability and mental health, it's a double-edged sword, and that's exactly what we need to incorporate in schools earlier. And from the start, we need to incorporate disability and bullying in school needs to be addressed. Disability and the choice of students to continue in a normal school needs to be addressed. Inclusion is a choice. It is also a student's choice. And that's something which we need to incorporate, And disability and schooling through resilience and strength perspective is something which we can also share and talk about. So I'm looking forward to a lot of questions. And I hope this story has hit y'all where it actually matters, and well, are ready to take some action and just not talk. So cheers to that. And I'll wait for Ravi now to just come on board and maybe hit me with questions or something I missed talking about. So Ravi, you can come back on, waiting for you.
I'm sorry, are you there?
Yes, Ravi.
I'm sorry, there was the LAN just went off berserk coming from the server. I'm really sorry for this. You may please.
No, it's okay. So no, I'm done. I think so. I finished the session.
Great. So yeah. There are many, and I'm really sorry for but I have an idea. I mean, looking at the chat, I mean, there are many people who want to kind of say something to you. Can I propose to pick up a few random people and bring them live on the screen?
Of course, yeah.
Let's see, I mean, if we can, do this conversation for the next 10, 15 minutes rather than just picking up questions from here and there. I think I want the real people to come. I mean, who is ready to come? Please type in the chat. I mean, if you have anything to share. I read something which someone wrote. I think it was Swati Kala Perohit. Swati, if you are listening to me, are you comfortable coming on live on screen and sharing? Because what you typed was really something, I mean, that I wanted to be addressed by Huafrid and a lot of others. Let me see if you're there and if I can make you the whole panelist here. Swati, I'm just allowing you to talk. Let me see if you can hear me. And
yeah, I can hear you. Am I audible?
Yes. Can I also put you on the video if you're comfortable?
No.
Or just the audio is fine.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but I would not like. Yeah.
Not a problem. And I have Agnes as well. And let me see if she's comfortable. Agnes, you there?
Yeah, Agnes. I'm available.
Agnes, can I put you live on the screen? Do you
Yeah.
need? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Give me
Yeah.
one
Okay,
second.
I'm comfortable. You may bring me live on screen.
Who's this? Agnes or?
Swati,
Yeah,
Swati.
I'm here. Agnes also is ready.
Perfect. Perfect. Just give me 1 second. I'll promote both of you to become.
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
Look at this. Two more speakers now. I mean, this was not planned, but yeah. I mean, let's see if we can see them, and let's see if all our attendees can see them. Hi, Swati.
Hi,
Hi,
Ravi.
Shanti.
Hi, Huafrid. I don't know how you pronounce it. Huafrid. Okay.
Yeah.
Huafrid. Nice to meet you, and I'm really very happy you have tried to overcome your problem, and you have fought and you have been victorious, if I can say. Because I personally am feeling my son is difficult to come out. He has kind of felt the same like you. And unfortunately, because his case was of mild, he was on the milder side. So even though I was aware of many things like his dyslexia, I kind of took his, going inside as being introvert instead of, he trying to shut each and every door around him. So like in 12th standard, 11th was tough, but in 12th he stopped going to school. And then before the half yearlies, I had to take him out because he would not go to school. And he's also been going to so many doctors, counselors, that, he has given up on them. And he feels that all of them say the same thing that he should be doing. If they tell him something, he always takes it as, that they are asking me to do it, and I want to do it, but I'm not able to do it. And that is something nobody understands. At times, for him, even we are not understanding that he wants to come out, but how, he doesn't know. And
How old
to
is
be
your boy,
very frank,
Swati?
because we are not in his shoes, there are so many times I really don't know what to tell him.
Swati, how old is your son?
He's 20 now.
20 now. Okay.
He missed a year of school because we had to hospitalize him. The time, let's say, when there was a meltdown after 10th, because he came to 11th, probably, I mean, I was told by the doctor that, this is a time because he has to make decisions, that the pressure increases, performance, what he will do in life. So it happens. So
I'm
things
sure
would
you're
get
taking good
better
care of
if he
him,
is
Swati.
more
I mean, since he's
organized.
20 now, I mean, I'm pretty sure that, I mean, by now you yourself are a special educator because living a life with such a brilliant boy. And I think, I mean, I was there at India Inclusion Summit in Bangalore late last year. And there was one argument which was going on the stage where a lot of people said that let's not call them specially abled. Let's not call them disabled. I mean, we are yet to know, I mean, what should we call? I mean, these are superheroes. And
You're
I'm pretty sure why I got Agnes. I mean, you'll have to unmute yourself, Agnes, before you want to speak anything. Because Agnes typed two very long messages, which made really very valid point. And I thought, I mean, let's bring Agnes online and live and let her speak and tell you what she felt about you, Huafrid. And with that, Swati, I'm taking you down from the video. I'm sure, I mean,
Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
what you wanted
It's
to.
okay.
And see you on the other side, Swati. And
Yeah, sure.
please continue, Agnes. Agnes, you'll have to unmute before you say anything. Or maybe I can do that for you. Yeah, please. Now you're audible.
Yeah. First of all, I want to thank Mr. Ravi to read my message. I actually I put my heart in that. That's what
You did.
my heart
Definitely you
was.
did.
And Huafrid, I want to just give you a big hug to you.
Thank you.
Yeah, you have come out very courageously. You have the never
Thank you.
give attitude, and I think that you would have got because of your parents. First of
True.
all, your parents would be a go-getter.
True.
I'm not able to see them, but I want to congratulate your parents first of all.
True. Very
Uh,
true.
as I have written in my chat, I had a very, very good, blessed 4 months of serving a special school. There I have seen the very worst case scenarios, not like you. And uh, I have done a very normal B.Ed, and I joined. I got an opportunity only. It was a wild card round, and I got it. And there I got to come to know actually the special kids are the real kids. And we people know we are all normal or we are extra normal. Whatever we say, we only put mask before people to people. Actually, we are only pretending. Then so-called normal people, so-called ordinary people, we are only pretending the special kids are the real kids. The 4 months I've been with them, they really, really opened my eyes and heart. And there is a very big, what to say, the mass of growing buds. They need the society's attention. I could understand. And those 4 months were like I was with gods. First of all, I thought that special kids are gods, but they are given by gods, but special kids are gods themselves. I came to know that. And as you told, no, that our education system should change. In those 4 months being in a special school, I came to know that the special educators are doing special B.Ed. What is that special B.Ed? All the people who are doing what professional course to be a teacher, they have to do this. The normal B.Ed should have the special B.Ed content itself, because in this what to say, the our society, the whole society in the whole globe, we cannot categorize this particular family or this particular society will get more and more of special kids. No, not that kind of thing. Because in this very fast moving society, what I understand is people, children, the young people who are not at all maturing by mind, heart, they get married. They get married by infatuation or whatever it is. They get married without having a proper insight of what a marriage is, what what a marriage agreement is. They don't know anything. They just jump into the family, and if it is a joint family nowadays, the parents are having one or rarely two kids, one only normal now. Okay, so they get whatever they want from those parents. And people are going behind money and fame and profession and all those things, and don't give value to the relationships or people around family, or they don't know how to behave with, and they don't know how to take up the everyday challenges they get. So immediately, what do they see? They will have misunderstandings, the parents, the couples, and the mother or a father. They will have many ill feelings, ego feelings, everything. By that time, they get conceived and they give birth to a child also. And with all this trauma, the child, the emotions, we all, I think you people are able to understand, while the child is in the womb of the mother undergoes, the mother who is not mentally matured properly, emotionally not mature, emotionally she doesn't know how to handle the thing. And with all those feelings and emotions, the child in the womb is also growing. That
Brilliant. I think Agnes, that calls for you writing a special article on this. I mean, I think you are very experienced in this particular thing and you have great content out there. I would urge you to reach out to us at editor@ScooNews.com, and I'm sure, you have received an email from Zoom. You could reply on that.
Okay.
I will connect you to the editor, and you could kind of, certainly please do spare some time and write, something on this.
I
And,
understand. Take a lot of time. Okay.
yeah, thank you,
I
Agnes, and thank you very much. We have Rajkumari Punjabi also. Sometimes I feel like I'm Arnab Goswami. I mean, now we have Rajkumari. So great. I mean, I'll put
You look like that, Ravi. You look like that also a little bit, you know.
Wow, thank you.
Thank you very much, Ravi.
Thank you, ma'am. And I will just take a moment before I give 1 minute to Miss Rajkumari Punjabi to kind of share what she wanted to share. And yeah, after that, I'll pick up a couple of questions and then we are done for the day. Yes, please, Miss Rajkumari, you'll have to unmute and I can actually do that from my side. Okay.
Yeah, hello, sir.
Hello, ma'am.
And hats off to Huafrid. Very well, he has overcome the obstacles. Actually, I have done my doctorate in inclusive education. That is a comparative study between the perception of general teachers and special teachers. That is actually, it is about changing the mindsets, changing the hearts and mindsets of the people. We need to have a positive attitude, and the teachers actually have to play a very crucial role. As Alfred has rightly said that he has overcome the obstacles. There are not many children who will be able to overcome the obstacles, and therefore the teacher's role is very crucial. That is, they have to play a very, very big role in the lives of these particular children so that they come over or overcome these obstacles and they get big opportunities and can be successful in their lives. That's what I wanted to share, sir.
Very true. Very true. On point. That was crisp and it was on point.
Thank you very much. With that, I'll let you move back to your role of attendee. And now, Huafrid, I'll just pick up a couple of questions. But before I do that, we have hundreds of attendees here on Zoom and many others on YouTube and Facebook watching us live. An appeal to you all, when the school open, I've seen that every year, I mean, school invites a lot of celebrities from sports, fraternity or maybe theater fraternity to kind of come and address and inspire and motivate our school students, because that's really important. I think it's about time where we give Huafrid a chance to kind of, invite him to your school. I mean, he's available on Facebook. He has his page, which has thousands of people liking him. I mean, check him out on Facebook, request him for his email and his number, and please do invite him to your school. And I think, that is going to change a lot of things in the way the students, behave in the school. I mean, let us all together make him the next celebrity to kind of, come to various schools all over India and let him address your students out there. That's a small little thing that I wanted to say. I mean, I'm sure that the decision is with you all. But with this, a very basic question is coming from, I think, just give me 1 second. And all I want to ask you is, Deepa Devi Rakhianan is asking, what is the basic expectation of a special child from any teacher? Kindly share. Please share what is the basic expectation of a child.
So the basic expectation first is treat that child as a child first. You get me? He's a child, he's an individual first, right? Why surround him with other words like special, disabled, able, whatever it is, adding much more complexity to an issue which is already so complex and confusing, So just treat him as a child, make him feel wanted, accepted, and do not be a leech, show him that he can do it, like that ma'am who just joined us, that her son, was hospitalized and is not coming out in the open and stuff like that. I have a lovely friend, Ravi. Her name is Reshma Valiappan. And she is a person with paranoid schizophrenia. And she has defied the norms by studying and basically whatever she's not, she has done a higher education by defying the norms. And she's done this also by leaving medication. And for a paranoid schizophrenic to leave medication is a huge thing, Ravi. And then to get an education, so it is possible. There are stories like this. And she's in India. She's in Pune herself, So there are such stories. So it's not impossible. But yes, the kid needs to have that family support. As Agnes said, the family support is very important. And like the days when I was in bed, I was not given that option. My parents, my mom literally, she dragged me by the pants and she dragged me till I was on the floor, forced me to have a bath, and then I was out of bed. They were telling me to function and stuff like that, regardless. So that's exactly how parents and family plays a very important role. And I've had the best family support and stuff like that. So for that, ma'am, and for these educators also to tap into another story, Reshma Valyappan is a lovely story, and you all can really tap into her for a lot of inspiration.
Please do connect Reshma to me, and I'll see if we can also bring her live sometime to share her journey as well. Jaspreet Arora is asking, what message you would want to give to other children in similar situation?
So other children, see exactly what I said. Resilience is important. Positive psychology, and that being propagated by licensed professionals does wonders. Like in my journey, and having a group, having a circle which understands you. So having kids with the same issues does wonders. Even if the kid is continuing and chooses to continue his school from a normal school, support groups and peer counseling is yet not hit in India as it is hit abroad. You get me? And that's what we need to actually hit and actually propagate for peer counseling. We should propagate for shadow programs for people with debilitating anxiety and disability, where someone like me or someone like anyone else who has been through this, working on the recovery model, can actually go shadow the kid, stay with the kid, and through positive reinforcement, get the kid out of that debilitating mental health condition or zone. So resilience is important. Not giving up is important. Keeping at it is important. Having a good family and family support is lovely. Yeah, I mean, that's something which does wonders. So, and exactly as you said, Ravi, I'm very active on Instagram and Facebook. So if anyone wants to contact me through there, they can contact me. I'm also quite active on LinkedIn. So if any professional wants to contact me over there, they can contact me over there. So that then
so sorry to interrupt. I'm sure.
No, it's cool.
We all are running short of time. But Beena Nair ask you. I mean, I'll just ask you two questions.
Cool.
One is from Beena Nair, who's asking, how did your parents cope up with your disability when you were in school, and what was their role in helping you fight it out and achieve success and reach where you are right now? I mean, a lot of people want to hear how your parents, when they handled you and the kind of support that you received from them.
So basically, first of all, there was no realization from them that I was standing out, and because see somewhere, because my parents actually rubbed it into me that, listen, there's nothing wrong with you. Simple. There's nothing wrong with you. So of course I knew there were issues, there were challenges and stuff like that. I did know that, but because of it being rubbed into me that there is nothing wrong with you, that really helped me, and unfortunately it also created a lot of problems with me, because I never portrayed that in school that I had so many issues. I was like, cool, I'm a normal kid, let's normalize stuff. But it also added to a disadvantage, where if I would have come out in the open and stated and been more and raised my voice at that point of time, things wouldn't have got that difficult. But regardless, there were advantages of it also in the future, which made me very resilient, which made me a very tough nut to crack. Simple.
Okay, one last question. I'm picking up from Pankaj Rathore, who's asking that I would like to know Huafrid's interest in music and his love for pets, if possible.
So I love dogs, but unfortunately, my parents do not allow me to take dogs, because I'll get very emotionally attached and stuff. And I am a very emotional guy. I get attached too quickly and stuff. Plus, they tell me it's too much of a responsibility. I'm taking it, a little slow. And yeah, for now, Ravi, I'm searching for a girlfriend. Yeah.
I'm sure, I mean, you'll get
No,
a few of them here, but again, it's not the part.
no.
Thank you. I think a lot of people on chat are
Mhm.
calling you brave. They're calling you superhero. They're calling you a lot of other names. I mean, all are positive. So I'm sure
See,
once
yeah.
we share all these chats with you, I mean, I'm
Mhm.
sure. I mean, you are not been able to read the chats right now, but
Yeah.
you will do so
Yeah.
later.
Mhm.
You are a true hero, Huafrid.
Yeah.
You are inspiration to a lot of other people. I mean, grown up and young kids. I mean, who are going to be walking the same path that you have walked in the past. And
Mhm.
you know what, Stephen Hawking, I think, I mean, he saw you somewhere, and once he said that my advice to other disabled people would be
Mm.
concentrate on things your disability doesn't prevent you doing
Doesn't.
well, and don't
Yes.
regret the things that it interferes with. So don't be
Mhm.
disabled in spirits as well as physically. So I think, I mean,
Exactly.
it was you who Stephen Hawking, I mean, saw and wrote this particular quote. And
That's true.
I'm really also a big fan of Jimmy Dean, who once said, I can't change the direction of the wind, but I can adjust my sails to always reach my destination. And this is exactly what you have done. And
Mhm.
I'm sure, I mean, a lot of advice and suggestion that you have given to students, I mean, please also make sure to tell them that, do not use bad names for your principals. I mean, that can kind of put you
That
in
can
trouble.
ruin your life.
Yeah.
Can ruin your life. Yeah.
Thank you. And a lot of you have been asking, I mean, which school did Huafrid goes to? I mean, we are not going to share the name of any school here. I mean, I'm sure, I mean, Huafrid has also said that in the past that he respect, I mean, there were many good things about the school, which he mentioned.
Exactly.
And there are some bad things about the school. So that doesn't mean that, we are tagging that particular school that, that school is not. So, of course,
Yes.
it takes a lot of time for a lot of schools to kind of also identify that, I mean, there are special educators. There is a different breed, I mean, which is called special educators. It's not any B.Ed teacher can be a special educator. And with that,
Mm.
I come to the end of this particular session, which we have overshot of I think 12 minutes from here.
Mhm.
There are many questions which have been unanswered, and I will request Huafrid to address them on our Facebook page, because a lot of these queries will also be pasted on the Facebook, and you can get in touch with Huafrid on his Facebook page. And as he's shared, he's also active on LinkedIn and Instagram as well. As and when the schools open, I mean, as and when you are in a position to kind of invite people, please do invite Huafrid and let us make him the role model and a superhero for a lot of other kids in our school. Thank you very much, ladies
Perfect.
and gentlemen, and we will see you on the other side. Thank you very much, Huafrid.
Thank you. Thank you, Ravi. Cheers. See you. Bye. Take care.
That's your mother?
No, that's my dad.
Oh, your father. I'm sorry. Hey, sir.
Yeah. Yeah.
Great. Bye-bye.
So.